You are now listening to Cryptid Cocktail Party. Creatures, let's meet for a drink. It's a treat. Join us. Join us in the fight. Cryptid Cocktail Party. Cryptid Cocktail Party.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cryptid Cocktail Party, a show where we have a few drinks, share a few laughs, take a dive into the unknown. I'm your host, Dave, joined as always by my wonderful also host, Sarge. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I just saw the back rooms and it was fantastic. And
Hell yeah.
my son's birthday
Oh, happy birthday.
was this weekend. He's too old and I don't like it.
You feel the grip of mortality?
Yeah. He's 11 and it's too old.
I mean, too old?
I'm just not ready for it.
He's not even a teenager yet.
He's a preteen and that's dangerous enough.
True. That is the worst. People say like the terrible twos. I feel like I don't have kids, so I don't know why the fuck I'm even talking about this. But people say like the twos, like the terrible twos. I feel like the ages between 10 and 13 is like because your hormones are like starting to fire off. I feel like that's probably the worst time to be a parent.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what's that's the concern I have.
Yeah.
How long before I have to start dealing with girlfriends?
I mean, if he's anything like his old man.
Yeah, if he's anything like his old man, 30 years.
Oh, well, that's awesome that you saw the back rooms. It looks good. I know
It's good.
I never really followed the back room. It was like past my time of being like that kind of like.
Yeah, I only knew about it because of my son. He knows the lore and understands it, so he got all the references. I was just along for the ride, but it was worth it.
Well, I feel like the back rooms is if I understand it, which I don't understand it correctly, is kind of like there's different branches of lore that you can go. Like it all starts from the central like back room, but then there's like this guy or this fandom did it this way, this other person and this fandom did it that way. It's kind of like Slender Man, how there's like Slender Man as like a weird thing, but then there's also like the Slender Man lore where he has like proxies in a fucking castle that makes you murder your best friend on the side of the road. It's,
Yeah, I think it started as a creepypasta. Like a lot of horror these days.
Hey, shut up, dog.
What are you barking at? You jackass. What did you see? A deer?
Slender Man.
Thank you for protecting me from the herbivore out there. This dog.
But yeah, no, I heard it was good. I mean, your review is really the only one I care about. So,
yeah,
I'll definitely find a super legal way to watch it. Without spending an exorbitant amount of money at a movie theater.
Yeah, I spent way too much at the movie theater.
I would imagine so. Inflation, am I right?
Totally.
Well, it's good to be back. We took last week off. I went up to New Hampshire. I don't know what you did. I assume.
No, last weekend I did Memorial Day stuff for the town that I live in, and honored the veterans who have passed. And we did the best thing we possibly could, which is not allow politicians to say anything.
See, that's what it should be.
Yeah. I don't care where you are in the political aisle. If you are in elected office, the only thing that's appropriate for you to do on Memorial Day is sit down and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I feel like it's not something that should be politicized.
It shouldn't. No, and never.
Yeah, you're going to hate this week's episode.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's not really I'm going to lie. I'm not going to lie. This is probably the most politically charged episode I think we've ever done, mostly just because some recent events and me being me and not giving a fuck, and I'm just going to be angry for a bit. But before we do that, Sarge, why don't we hear a word from this week's episode sponsor?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. This week's episode is brought to you by Red Clover Gear Crypt-R range cards, the only field tool scientifically engineered to answer the question, how far away is that horny goat man in the tree line? Tired of squinting into the darkness, wondering if that's Bigfoot and just your buddy Kyle taking a tactical piss? The Crypt-R range card helps you identify cryptids at a distance with shocking accuracy. Mothman at 300 meters? Easy. Jersey Devil in low light? Confirmed. Your ex outside the bar at 2 a.m. Abort mission immediately. Made in America by Red Clover Gear, this rugged little card is waterproof, pocket size, and discreet enough to hide from federal agents, park rangers, or whatever the hell keeps screaming behind your campsite at 3 in the morning. Whether you're hunting monsters, dodging child support, or conducting highly questionable field research in the woods with someone named Crystal, the Crypt-R has your back. Red Clover Gear Crypt-R range card, because nothing ruins a cryptid encounter faster than yelling, "Holy shit, what was that?" without an accurate distance estimation. Range and engage. Head over to redclovergear.com and grab yours today.
Can we get that website one more time? Where do I get one?
Red Clover Gear, all one word, .com.
I hope it's all one word. Websites are notoriously all one word.
Yeah, don't put any spaces in. You're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
No punctuation here other than the dot part and the .com.
I'll put... and I'll link it in the episode description. Yeah, they were kind enough to send us a couple.
It's a very cool little card.
Yeah, I got
like
some
it
for
a
you.
lot.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep them. They have the Crypt-R card, but then we also got the Tomb Raider one.
Oh, I need the Tomb Raider one.
Yeah, it's got mummies, genies, camels, pyramids, sphinx, and UFOs. You can rate. You can
Don't shoot camels.
No, but
they've
it's
been through enough.
But I mean, like, actually, the chamomile. All right, Sarge. So, are you ready to dive into this week's episode?
Let's do it.
It's a bit of a longer one. I did
I'm
kind
ready
of
to
get
be angry.
I did kind of get real ranty. It's half episode, half me, just like stream of consciousness while writing it kind of thing. So if this doesn't make any sense, I'm so sorry. I just kind of went whole hog on it. But
And if it does make sense, congratulations. You also have autism.
yeah. So this week we're gonna be talking about UFOs, which I mean isn't unusual for this show. We cover UFOs somewhat regularly, not as often as I feel like we should, but we do. But this week is a little different because we're not talking about like UFOs specifically. We're going to be talking about like the machine that has built up around them. The grifters, the politics, the money, the propaganda, and the very specific and very well documented pattern of the government using disclosure as a distraction tool. Well, simultaneously, a bunch of right-wing grifters figured out that paranormal audiences were basically an untapped well of free-flowing money.
Oh, good.
Yeah? I told you to make sure your blood pressure was in a good spot before we started this episode.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. But the reason we're doing this episode right now, like this week specifically, is because this week some shit went down that I don't think we can really ignore given who we are and what we stand for, but also because I feel like outside of like political shows, no one in the paranormal space is really going to discuss this the same way we would. So let's start with what has been happening the last few months, because it's been a lot. In February of this year, Trump issued a presidential order directing government agencies to start identifying and releasing records related to alien ETs and UFOs and shit. And the UFO community lost its mind, as it tends to do, because this is what they've been waiting for, even though we did this once before. But, but any chance to feel validated, I guess, is a chance to take, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then on May 8th, the Pentagon dropped 162 declassified documents, files, images, videos, transcripts from flight crews and NASA astronauts. There's an Apollo 17 photo with like 3 dots and a triangular formation that nobody can explain. There's also a 1994 State Department cable from Tajikistan, I think is how you pronounce it, where American...
Close enough.
Yeah. Where American and Tajik pilots watched. I keep saying Tajik to me sounds like Khajiit from
Skyrim.
Yes. And I keep wanting to say Tajik has wares, but I feel like I can't do that.
Similar accent.
But there's like a cable between an American and a Tajik pilot where they watched a glowing UAP pace their jet. There's FBI interview transcripts, the whole shebang. Trump posted on Truth Social telling people to, quote, have fun and enjoy. And look, I get it. This is genuinely significant. The government has been lying about this stuff for 70 years.
Yeah.
Project Blue Book was a public relations operation dressed up as an investigation. The military classified UAP footage for decades and denied it existed, and then leaked it anyways. And then they had to admit it was real.
Right.
So people being excited about actual like declassified documents is not crazy. It's a pretty sane response to what for some looks like a real moment in history. But
Of course.
you know, even on the day the files dropped, the former director of the government's own UAP investigation office, a physicist named Sean Kirkpatrick, who ran it until 2023, went on record and said Trump's promises were, quote, a bluster, a shiny object. He has seen everything in those files. There was nothing in there that was going to change anyone's mind about anything. There wasn't any like photos of aliens. There's no like smoking gun moment hidden in there. It was just a bunch of documents about encounters that couldn't be definitively explained, which is a very different thing than confirmation of aliens and UFOs, which is what they kind of pretty much told us it was going to be.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Any thoughts so far? Haven't really talked about anything, but
Oh, yeah. I've got a lot of thoughts, but I'm going to keep some of them to myself.
Okay.
So that I don't get investigated by the Secret Service. What I will say is why release this stuff, but not the Epstein files that you have so many of? Because we are still missing quite a few of those. Oh, wait, I remember. It's because all the people that are currently in political office are either trying to protect people in the files or are in the fucking files.
no.
So let's talk about aliens instead, because that's a pressing threat. It's not the child abusers that we got to worry about. It's fucking aliens on a vacation.
Yeah, Sarge. All right. Well, no, we're going to get to all that, though.
I know. And that's why I'm trying to hold it down.
All right. So that dude, the physicist or whatever, said this is a whole bunch of bullshit. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, not exactly someone who you'd expect to be dunking on the minute. Well, maybe now. Posted that they had dropped some UFO files so that people would get excited and forget they were paying $4.50 a gallon because they were fighting another foreign war. They said they would never fight. And then Representative Thomas Massey called it, quote, the ultimate weapon of mass distraction, which is a sick as hell line. And we might circle back to that later. But I do love that's a great line.
I am so mad at this administration for making me simultaneously agree on anything with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey.
It's kind of fucked up, right? But remember, we're not agreeing with them. They're agreeing with us.
That's true. That's true.
That's
and,
how you should look at that.
I got to give credit to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She took time out of her busy schedule of complaining at Walmart because she saw a rainbow somewhere in the store to get angry at the orange Jabba the Hutt-like creature that thought, here's some blurry photos. The aliens.
There was no photos of aliens though. But sick line. Love it. We're going to circle back to that a bit later. But 1 week after the file dump, something else happened. And Sarge, you probably already know about this, but for the listeners, back in March, the White House quietly registered 2 domain names, Alien.gov and Aliens.gov, with zero explanation as to why or what they would be used for. And the reaction online was exactly what you would expect. People in UFO and paranormal circles went absolutely apeshit. The assumption was that it was going to be basically like a disclosure portal, kind of like the Epstein files, but with less kid fucking and more anal probing.
Right.
YouTube videos from UFO researchers and paranormal creators started popping up like a herpes rash almost immediately. Every channel had a video within 48. Someone had like 3 within 48 hours of that news dropping. And of course, TikTok and Twitter were having a fucking field day with this shit. And this is the part where even if you're sympathetic to the paranormal community as a whole, you have to acknowledge that nobody pumped the brakes. Nobody said like, hey, let's wait and see what this actually is before we make 17 fucking videos about it. The speculation just kind of went full steam ahead. And I get it. We're an excitable bunch, the paranormal community.
Yeah. Excitable is a good word. I was thinking gullible, but yeah, excitable works.
Well, we're part of that community, so.
We've been spending so much of our time learning how the government tries to obfuscate the truth.
Yeah.
And then the minute the government's like, no, this time we are going to tell the truth, everyone shits their pants.
Yeah.
Forgetting about the last 70 years.
Yeah. But maybe it is what it is.
Yeah. No, but it is exactly what it is.
Well, yeah. because on May 28th, just a few short days ago, Aliens.gov launched, and it's a fucking immigration site, Sarge.
Yeah. That's not surprising. It's not at all surprising.
The opening line reads, quote, "For 60 years, the U.S. government has kept a closely guarded secret. Aliens have been walking among us, living in our neighborhoods, and interacting with us in our daily lives. They shopped in the same stores, attended the same classes as our children, and live seemingly normal human existences, with one exception. They do not belong here," end quote, which is an absolutely bonkers and wildly dangerous thing to say because it is insinuating
these fucking dorks.
It's insinuating that immigrants are less than or not even human, which is fucking gross. But yeah, the whole thing is just a glorified ICE arrest tracker. It has a counter for migrant encounters. It's over 3 million, if you were wondering. It has a searchable heat map of arrest locations by ICE. And at the bottom, there's a big red button that says report suspicious aliens. And then it takes you to the ICE tip hotline. There's also a line that says, "If you've witnessed an alien abduction, do not be alarmed. The alien is in good hands. We will take care of it and return it safely to its place of origin."
Also not true. An unsurprising lie from the government about aliens. Just the wrong kind of fucking aliens.
So that's an actual government website that the White House has launched. And to get people hyped on it, they made a post on X that just said 4 words. "They walk among us." Yeah.
Now it's dangerous for space aliens and just regular human beings that might be brown. Like,
sorry, you look like you want to just say what you got to say.
What the fucking fuck?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so somebody came over the border illegally. So somebody has to do jobs we don't want to do. And since we don't want to do those fucking jobs, we're going to take people who are desperate for work because their country doesn't have a lot of jobs or food or is wildly dangerous. And we're like, no, we don't want you. Just no one's going to pick grapes. Are you fucking kidding? Like, migrant farmers are such a huge help to our economy. But because these lily-livered fucking smooth hand douchebags wearing clean work boots are like, no, we can't let the Browns in. The whole neighborhood will go to crap. You're the reason the neighborhood sucks, you assholes. I'm not worried about getting shot by an illegal immigrant. I'm worried about getting shot by a MAGA chud who had too many fucking freedom beers.
What's a free? Is that Bud Light? Keystone?
No, it's whatever bullshit the Trump fucking idiots came up with. They made their own beer after Bud Light identified a trans person as an actual human being.
I'm unfamiliar with this beer.
It's like, I don't know. It's called Freedom Beer.
Is it the Hulk Hogan beer?
I don't know. Maybe it's Chud Light. Who knows?
I don't know. Now, you good for a bit?
Yeah, I can breathe for a second.
Okay. No, we raised close to $3,000 for defending our neighbors this year, and I think our position on ICE, as just demonstrated, and the federal government is pretty well established at this point. So I will just say that this website can go fuck itself at length, and we will move on for now. How's that?
Right in the butt.
But here's the thing:
the rough end of a pineapple. Okay, now I'm good.
But here's the thing that actually interests me about this whole situation. It's not the bait and switch, which is as funny as it is. And by funny, I mean it's funny enough ding dongs actually thought this was going to be anything of substance and not a crazy racist doing crazy racist things, which we all should have seen coming. And it's not even the fact that this administration looked at the UFO community and correctly identified them as an audience that would absolutely fall for a domain registration and went ahead and used that. It's what this moment is the latest example of. The UFO community getting played is not anything new. It has been happening for as long as there has been a UFO community to play. And I come bearing examples. One of the first to play the game was a man by the name of George Adamski in 1952. Adamski was a Polish-born burger stand operator in California.
Oh, no.
He had a telescope set up outside his restaurant, and in the late 1940s, he started claiming he was seeing UFOs through it. This gets him an audience. People are interested, start coming around the restaurant, take a peek. And there are like a handful of witnesses who signed affidavits saying, yeah, we saw some weird lights in the sky too. Fine, whatever. It's believable enough. But lights in the sky are not enough forever. You need to escalate. So in November of 1952, Adamski claimed he drove out into the Mojave Desert and actually met one of them. A golden-haired human-looking alien named Orthon who had traveled from Venus specifically to warn humanity about nuclear war. Very timely, very Cold War. Orthon was friendly, communicated through hand gestures and telepathy, and before he flew away, he left footprints in the deserts with mysterious symbols pressed into them. Adamski and a group of his buddies made plaster casts of the footprints, so now they have physical evidence. They have something to show people. So now he has a contact story and physical evidence and witnesses, quote unquote, people that look through his telescope. So he writes a book titled Flying Saucers Have Landed in 1953, and it sells like fucking hotcakes. Then he writes another book, Inside the Spaceships, in 1955 about the rides Orthon took him on because, of course. And this one also puts up numbers. So now he's relatively famous. His burger stand becomes a tourist attraction. Fun fact, the actual head of Project Blue Book at the time showed up incognito in 1953 just to watch him like hold court and like hawk photos to the lunch crowd. But like most grifters, he gets greedy and feels the need to start ramping up. So he starts producing photographs, UFO photos, saucers hovering in the sky. And for a while, people accept them because why wouldn't they? This is the guy who met Orthon, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Of course.
But then the photos start getting debunked by NASA engineers. I mean, one of the pictures of like the flying saucers had car taillights visible in the image. So the FBI called him a charlatan, which is objectively funny. Scientists pointed
especially
out,
for the FBI at the time to be like, this guy's full of shit.
Scientists pointed out that his description of Venus, which was lush, populated, full of friendly blonde Venusians, was already like contradicted by available astronomical data at the time, at least at the time that he was making these claims. I don't know what Venus is like now. Maybe we figured out it actually is. Who knows?
Venus is literally the hottest planet in our solar system.
Yeah, but
because of its greenhouse gases. So Mercury is essentially touching the sun, but Venus is actually hotter because of the greenhouse gases. So I doubt that there's going to be any blonde folks there.
Well, no, but greenhouse gases, what do greenhouses do? Grow plants. It could be. So for all I know, it could be lush.
I think it also rains sulfuric acid there, which isn't great for plants.
Maybe not earth plants.
Oh, good call.
Didn't think about
Good
that,
call.
did you? Yeah.
Nope, I didn't think about it. Chia pets everywhere.
Where do you think Venus flytraps come from, bro?
Oh, you're fucking right. God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay. Yeah. My mistake.
Mainstream UFO researchers thought he was making serious investigators look like idiots because fucking obviously. But as it always goes, none of it mattered. The books kept selling. People kept showing up. He toured the world giving lectures. He claimed to have a private audience with the Pope in 1963 to relay messages from, quote unquote, the Space Brothers, which obviously the Vatican denied. They're like, no, fuck that guy. Why would that even happen?
Do that.
Yeah, and the debunking never caught up to the belief because the belief wasn't based on the evidence. It was based on the need for the story to be true. Adamski understood that like from the jump. You give the curiosity a place to land and then charge admission. And if the evidence falls apart, just produce more evidence.
Of course.
It's as simple as that.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Bill Mayer, I don't know if that's pronounced his name, ran the same exact play in Switzerland in the 1970s, just with a bigger budget and arguably worse fashion. In 1973, Mayer, a one-armed Swiss farmer with a 6th grade education, announced that
That's a lot of credentials right there.
He announced that a beautiful blonde alien woman named Samjasi had landed a spacecraft near his house and personally selected him out of every single person on Earth for ongoing contact. Samjasi and her people, the Plagiarin, which are kind of Pleiadian but not Pleiadian, they kind of fall in that same category, kept coming back specifically to talk to this one Swiss farmer about the nature of the universe and the spiritual future of humanity. She let him take photos of her, of their beam ships hovering over the Swiss countryside. They're like gleaming metallic saucers floating next to trees and shit. They're pretty images. They're much more convincing than Adamski's fucking lampshade on a string bullshit.
Yeah.
He also claimed to have audio recordings of the ships as well as metal samples given to him by the aliens and photographs taken from inside the spacecraft, including images that he said were of other planets and prehistoric Earth. The evidence was impressive enough that it did attract serious attention from researchers who spent years trying to verify it. Books were written, a documentary was made, people flew to Switzerland to meet him. And around all of this, Mayer built a full religious movement called the...
Oh, no.
I'm going to butcher this, but it's called the Freie Intersengemeinschaft. I don't know. It translates to
Scientology.
It translates to the free community of interests for fringe and spiritual sciences and UFO studies, which is a fucking sentence.
Yeah.
That was established in the late 1970s, and his followers pooled their money to buy him a farm compound in Hinterschmiedergy.
Close enough.
It's good enough for me. That became like the movement's permanent headquarters. He declared himself to be the seventh reincarnation of a prophetic line that includes Enoch, Elijah, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Jesus, and Muhammad. Dude just kind of
wow.
Yeah, he just slotted himself right in there.
That's serious.
Yeah,
weird that Jesus didn't protect him from losing his arm.
God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. You could almost say so mysterious that you don't actually know if he's doing anything. It's been my experience.
But then in 1997, his ex-wife, Calliope, dude, these people fucking need to get better names. She gave an interview. She had lived with him during like the entire peak contact period, I guess you want to call it. She said that the beam ships were models he built out of everyday garbage, like trash can lids, pins, and wires, and then just photographed in the field behind the house. The alien woman in some of the photos turned out to be just cutouts from American fashion magazines. The metal samples were obviously debunked, and the audio recordings of the spaceships and shit like that were just identified as just mundane, everyday sounds. Yes.
Heartbroken.
So the whole thing, according to the woman who was actually there, was constructed piece by piece in a backyard by a man who needed people to believe him badly enough to put in the work. And he did put in work. I'll try and find you some of these photographs because they're pretty fucking good. But what's crazy is that the compound is still running. The movement is still like, it still has active members, and people still make pilgrimages to the farm in Switzerland, which is fucking wild. And I kind of want to go.
I feel like most religions start out this way. Every religion is just like a random shower thought,
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if this existed?
I mean, I feel like that's how most. That's not true. I was gonna say that's how most cults start, but I feel like most cults start. Most. Why am I fucking having a stroke? Most cults always begin with good intentions. Does that make sense?
I disagree.
Well, look at fucking the People's Temple, like Jim Jones and shit. Like, he did a lot of really good work. He was a huge civil rights activist. He did a lot.
Yeah, but I think he was always planning on the heel turn.
I think the drugs probably kind of fucking.
I mean, the drugs didn't help.
Oh no, not at all.
But I feel like Children of God and fucking.
Well, that's different.
Scientology. It was kind of all like, let's see how far I can take this thing. And then when they realize, holy shit, people will literally believe anything, then it gets crazy.
So would you say that they're just paranormal grifters? Because this is what we're talking about right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because then you also get into like the secret space program guys, like the ones claiming high level government access, interplanetary wars, underground bases, sentient spaceships, that kind of shit. We did a full 2-part episode on Captain Mark Richards, which
Camelot.
was a man who spent years spanning an incredibly detailed narrative about fighting space Nazis alongside dinosaur aliens. And he did all that from a maximum security cell in California, where he's been serving a life without parole since 1982 for murder. If you want to go find those episodes and give them a listen, if you haven't heard them already, it's one of the most unhinged things we've ever covered, and we covered a lot of unhinged things. But the point I'm trying to make, and I don't know if it's coming across right, because again, I just kind of stream of conscious a lot of this, is the rampant grifting in the UFO and paranormal circles is not new. The grift it's not like a social media invention. What the internet did was scale it, and algorithms pretty much rewarded it. I'm looking at you, early 2000s YouTube.
Yeah, right.
Because nothing performs better on a platform built around engagement than a story that promises to change everything, but then never quite delivers. The almost knowing is the product. The story can never fully deliver because the delivery is not the point. You keep people in the state of almost knowing, almost confirmed, next week, next Tuesday, next file dump.
Right.
And they will keep coming back. They'll keep clicking, subscribing, they'll keep buying. The curiosity never gets satisfied. It just gets managed. And the people doing the managing figured out something even more useful than just selling books or Patreon subscriptions. They figured out that paranormal audiences don't just have curiosity. They also have distrust of institutions, governments, media, official narratives, people who are already asking the question, is the government lying about UFOs? And to be clear, the government has lied about UFOs.
Yeah, perpetually.
Yeah, but they're extremely primed to hear, is the government lying about other things too? The bridge is short. Once people figure that out, they built a whole highway around it. Project Camelot is the perfect case study. Carrie Cassidy founded it in 2006. It started innocently enough as a UFO whistleblower interview platform. It was filmed guerrilla style with people claiming access to all sorts of classified programs. And for a while, it was mostly that. I mean, it was super weird and wholly unverifiable, but it was in the ballpark of what it claimed to be. But that content changed over time. By 2017, her interview schedule is running segments about pedogate, child trafficking rings, the Khazarian Mafia, and Pizzagate, all of it sitting right next to the UFO content. Not instead of it, just right next to it. Same show, same audience, as if it was all part of the same conversation.
Yeah, it's like a gateway drug.
And for her audience, now it was. Because the mechanism is simple. You find people who already distrust institutions. You validate that distrust with content about government UFO cover-ups, which again is at least partially funded in reality. Then you start attaching other things to that foundation, things that are less defensible, things that get darker and more political and more specific. And each thing you get someone to accept makes that thing easier to swallow. And it's not done on accident. This is a formula. QAnon used this formula explicitly. It didn't just absorb UFO mythology. It straight up incorporated it into the whole thing. Area 51, government cover-ups, non-secret human programs. It all got folded into the QAnon narrative because those were audiences that already had the distrust pre-installed.
Yeah, and they really just kind of borrowed shit that was already out there and applied it to different people.
Yeah, you didn't have to do the work of convincing them the government lies. They already knew that. You just had to redirect what they thought the government was lying about.
Right.
And once someone accepts that there are secret programs being hidden from the public, and there are, like, black budget is real, classified programs are real, getting them to accept those programs involve child trafficking rings and satanic cabals and election fraud it's much shorter of a jump than it looks like from the outside.
Yeah.
If any of that makes sense.
Well, yeah, you already believe people are capable of pure evil. So now you just assign that pure evil to people that they already think are villains.
Yeah. David Wilcock is a good example of this. He did this very specific thing. For those of you who don't know, David Wilcock he was a former Ancient Aliens contributor that had over 450,000 YouTube subscribers, like at his peak. And he built a movement that explicitly combined QAnon, UFOs, and Trump into a single unified narrative. Just took all three of those things and cooked them down into one product. He's also dead now, I think. So fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
But here's where it gets really interesting, at least to me. The people who built careers doing this, the ones like who figured out that paranormal audiences plus institutional distrust plus political greed, it's like a very monetizable like combination. Some of them are not just YouTubers anymore. The same media ecosystem that produced the UFO grifters and the secret space program guys and the Project Camelot types is the same ecosystem that produced a meaningful chunk of the people who are currently running this country.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
Yeah, Pete Hegseth had a media career built entirely on telling a specific audience exactly what they wanted to hear. Tulsi Gabbard spent years cultivating the exact same kind of anti-institutional sentiment that makes these pipelines work before she became the director of national intelligence. And JD Vance understood the media landscape well enough to use it to get the vice president. Well, that and Peter Thiel.
Yeah. Who now lives in Argentina.
Yeah.
Because he created a monster and then got scared of it.
Yeah.
It's like when Frankenstein went to the Arctic Circle to get away from the monster he made.
Yeah, it's almost exactly like that. But these aren't people who like stumbled into power and happened to have podcasts or wrote books. Like they came up through the machine. They understood how it works. They know what the audiences respond to. different content, same formula pretty much though. And now those are the people releasing UFO files and launching Aliens.gov and going on Joe Rogan to talk about 4 alien species and hybrid breeding programs and shit like that. So the line between the paranormal grift economy and actual government power is not blurry anymore. It's basically gone. Like the grift didn't just infiltrate the community, it graduated, and some of these guys are in the cabinet. So now let's circle back to, again, what is one of the most badass phrases ever uttered, and that is ultimate weapon of mass distraction. Now, Sarge, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there is a coordinated conspiracy where someone in a dark room is strategically deploying UFO news to cover for bad headlines. I can't prove that. Wink, wink. And making claims I can't prove is exactly what this episode is arguing about.
Yeah. Yeah. But we know it's really happening.
Yeah. I mean, but what I can show you a pattern and let you decide what to do with it.
I like that idea. I love that idea.
Yeah. December 16th, 2017, the New York Times publishes a story that kicks off the entire modern disclosure era. The existence of ATIP, the secret Pentagon UFO investigation, the Tic Tac videos, military pilots, crafts doing things that shouldn't be physical, and it dominates the news cycle for a few days. That same week, the FCC voted to repeal net neutrality on December 14th, and Congress was finalizing a $1.5 trillion tax bill. Both of those stories directly affected every single person in the country, but both somehow got absolutely buried. Yeah. July 26, 2023, David Grush testifies before Congress under oath, talking about non-human biologics, crash retrieval programs hidden from oversight. It was pretty much the most mainstream UFO moment since Roswell, and it eats the entire news cycle. That same day, Hunter Biden was scheduled to plead guilty before a federal judge, and the Federal Reserve was announcing another rate hike, and a potential third Trump indictment was just days away. February 20th, 2026, Trump orders UFO files released. It was a huge announcement. You know, he's talking about maximum transparency, whatever. The UFO community goes absolutely apeshit for it. That same week, congressional pressure on the Epstein files was at a peak. NPR had just published an analysis showing that 53 pages of FBI interview records involving specific accusers with specific allegations involving Trump were missing from the public record. 8 days after the UFO order, the United States and Israel launched strikes on Iran, and the Epstein story vanished.
Weird. Yeah. So weird.
Yeah. May 8th, 2026, Pentagon drops the files. Just have fun, enjoy. That same day, the Iran war is ongoing. The Epstein files are still incomplete. Gas is over $4.50 a gallon, and inflation is doing what inflation does. 3 weeks later, Aliens.gov turns out to be an ICE tip line. Now, is this a deliberate coordinated distraction campaign? Maybe. Maybe not. What I will say is that UFO stories are extraordinarily good at grabbing attention. They're big, they're visual, they tap into something primal, and they travel faster than almost any other type of news story. And when you have a tool that performs that well, the incentive to reach for it when you need the room to look somewhere else is very high.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is actually in line with a theory that I have about UFOs. The reason that the government didn't typically come out and just say, like, you know, UFOs are real.
Yeah.
Or UFOs aren't real, is because they would rather you believe that those weird lights in the sky are UFOs than believe that those weird lights in the sky are some new weapon.
Yeah. I mean, they did that with I keep wanting to say SR-71, but I don't know if that's the right plane.
It might be. It could be the U-2 as well.
Yeah.
But like, once they realized that they could just dip into that playbook and just let people speculate, then they were like, wait a minute, let's just use this to our advantage anytime something big comes up that we need to hide.
Yeah.
Oh, we found another UFO.
I'm telling you, dude, UFO alien disclosure and shit like that is because like it's not just the paranormal community who spread it. It's fucking normies who are just like, fucking aliens, dude. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing, too, is we're fucking exhausted now.
Yeah.
You know, like the crazy shit happening in our country that would normally be front page news 10 years ago is now just like a blip on the radar.
Well, it's because crazy shit happens every other day.
I know. Like the president slapping his name on the Kennedy Center. And then the president trying to put his face on a $250 bill, a unit of measure which makes no fucking sense, by the way.
I think it's perfect.
And we're all just like, oh, yeah, normal Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
A meteor fucking exploded over Massachusetts Bay yesterday. I've already forgotten about it.
I heard about that. That's pretty sick.
Rattled my house and windows.
Really?
Completely forgot about it until just now.
Well, you know what would make you forget about it? Did you hear about this alien thing? Did you hear about that?
Actually, I was kind of hoping it was aliens. Like they finally arrived and they're just going to clean shit up.
Dude, what I wouldn't give for an Independence Day scenario. Dude.
Yes.
I'd let a fucking beam take me any day. Just fucking.
Yeah, just end it.
Oh, all right. Well, I still got a bunch more to go.
Okay.
So whether that's the government doing it deliberately, grifters doing it opportunistically, or just an algorithm doing what algorithms do, the effect is the same. Every time someone tells you the biggest secret in human history is about to drop next Tuesday, something else is happening. It might be important, it might not be, but it is happening. And the question worth asking every single time is what you're not looking at while you're looking at this. Does that make sense?
Yep. It's jingly keys.
Yeah. So where does that leave us? Maybe aliens are real. I believe they're real. The universe is about 93 billion light years across, and we have only been a spacefaring society for about 60 years. And our most advanced probe barely made it out of our own solar system. Yeah. The probability that we are the only interesting thing that has ever happened in all of that is statistically close to zero.
Right.
The UFO stuff is real in the sense that there are genuinely unidentified things being observed by military pilots and recorded on military sensors, and nobody has a clean explanation for all of it.
Right.
Maybe some version of what the community has been saying for decades is true, and what is coming out right now is the beginning of something real. We don't know, and that's fine. Not knowing is literally where we live. This whole show is based around not knowing. But here is what is definitely real. Every time somebody tells you the biggest secret in human history is about to be revealed, somebody is making money. The influencer on Patreon, the conference has a ticket price, the podcast, yes, including this one, exists because people clicked on something that promised them something extraordinary. The grift doesn't require malice. Sometimes it's people who believe every word they're selling. Sometimes it's people who started believing and gradually stopped but kept the lights on anyways. Sometimes it's people who never believed a single fucking word of it and knew exactly what they were doing from day one. The outcome is the same regardless. And the thing is, none of this means you should stop asking questions. That would be like the worst possible outcome of this episode. And if that's what you take away from it, you completely kind of missed the point. But again, this is also kind of a long-winded rant more than an episode.
Yeah.
The questions are real. Government transparency is real and important and worth demanding. The possibility of non-human intelligence is real and worth taking seriously. But maybe just pump the brakes a bit,
Like settle down.
Maybe, just ask what someone is selling before you decide to buy it. Maybe, notice what else is in the news that week. That disclosure suddenly shows up all over your feed.
Yeah, I feel like if the U.S. government's like, hey, we're finally going to tell the truth about this thing that we've been lying about forever, they're trying to lie to you about something else.
Yeah, maybe when a website called Aliens.gov turns out to be a federal immigration enforcement tool with a nice tip line at the bottom, you recognize it for what it is. It's a government that is very comfortable using the language of disclosure to do something else entirely, which, when you think about it, is what this whole episode is about, I guess. I really don't know what this episode is. I just wanted to go on a rant about anyways. The community that this show is a part of deserves better than that. And the only way you get better than that is by being a little harder to fool. Not less curious, just a little harder to fool. Okay, rant over. That's the end of the episode.
I agree.
That's all.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Don't let them fucking win, because they're doing this thinking it's a win. They're all high-fiving each other and jerking each other off. And the truth of the matter is, they're literally just doing this to hide the fact that they are failing at almost every aspect of running a government.
Yeah.
How bad can you be doing things that Milli Vanilli is like, no, I don't want to play in front of a willing audience?
Well, here's the thing, though. You say playing.
It is the original singers. It's not the two guys.
Oh, okay. So
it's the actual singers. And then I guess one of the guys is going to, because the other one's dead.
He gonna go limp sync while the other guys? What's his plan? It doesn't matter.
I don't know. Like CNC Music Factory is like, no, I am not participating in your concert.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. You know you're not doing something right when CNC Music Factory and Milli Vanilli both say no.
Yeah, because they're not getting gigs left and right like they used to.
No, they're not. They're not.
But yeah, I started this episode out. I wanted to do just like right-wing grifters that are like paranormal based, like the Carrie Cassidy shit and stuff like that. And then Aliens.gov launched, and then I just got mad, and then because that's why there's like, if the episode seems disjointed, the right-wing grifter, like not grifter, but the paranormal grifter part and that all was very cohesive. The beginning and the end is where I just kind of fucking started going off on shit. I mean, there's
so many paranormal grifters. We could do an entire podcast just on that.
But it's like, I don't know. This episode got away. If it didn't make any sense and it's all disconjointed, I'm sorry. I think it followed a great narrative. I think it made a lot of sense. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to say, and I feel like not enough people say it. I feel like the paranormal community is susceptible to the worst grifters because they want answers. They're curious, but they're not. What's the word I'm looking for? They just believe everything. Like they're curious, but as soon as they find an answer, no matter what the answer is, they just go with it.
It's confirmation bias.
Yeah. It's like a mixture of that and just like sometimes your curiosity makes you gullible, I guess.
Yeah. And then you have to go to great lengths to unconvince them. Like to point at the things that they think they're right about and be like, hey, think about that for a second. Is that real?
Yeah. I don't know. I just had to get some things off my chest.
Yeah.
And I figured, aliens.
This is the place to do it.
Yeah. I will say this. Aliens.gov, the actual website, it looks fucking sick. It just sucks that it is what it is.
Yeah.
If it was all the same things, but with actual aliens, like a heat map of like UFO sightings and shit like that. And like, cause it kind of looks like a lot of the websites where I have to get some of the information from.
So it's a black screen with green writing on it?
Yes, it is 100%. Go to aliens.gov right now and check it out.
No, because I'm going to wind up on a fucking
just do it.
Watch list.
Just do it. Don't be a nerd.
All right. I'll do that while you wrap up.
That's it. That's the end of the episode. Oh, you mean like do the normal spiel?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you to Red Clover Gear for sending us these cool little cards, and we appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram at Cryptid Cocktail. Follow us on TikTok, Cryptid Cocktail Party. Call the hotline if you got a story or if you're mad about this episode and you want to talk shit. 321. Oh, fuck. What was it? 321 5. I already forgot.
I got it saved in my phone. I'll bring it up. 321-300-5606.
Yeah. Leave us a voicemail. Shoot me an angry text. Whatever. I don't care. I think that's all I don't really have anything to plug.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. Well, I guess with that out of the way, Sarge, would you like to say goodbye and I love you to the audience?
Goodbye, and I love you, unless you're in the government.